Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon, and we're going to talk about Leonard Bernstein. Leonard Bernstein. Yeah, we're going to talk about Leonard Bernstein. We're going to talk about this biopic on Netflix, and actor Bradley Cooper, who a lot of you probably know, is the voice of Rocket Raccoon, being in deep doo-doo for using a prosthetic nose to look more like the late composer. So there are accusations that Bradley Cooper wearing a prosthetic nose is quote-unquote Jew face. I didn't even know that was a thing. When did that become a thing? Because my nose is about the same size as Leonard Bernstein's, so I'm just saying. So yeah, so he's wearing a prosthetic nose. People are upset, and now Leonard Bernstein's kids are actually coming out and defending Bradley Cooper, and they're like, my dad would have been fine with it. Our dad would have been totally fine with it. You actually look like him. So let's talk about this controversy. It's another controversy. This isn't quite as egregious as remember when they had a white guy playing Michael Jackson. Yeah, that was the thing. Joseph Fiennes. He played Michael Jackson in an episode of Urban Myths. I remember that was like a big deal, and that was a couple of years ago. But let's talk about this. If his kids are okay with it, he probably would have been okay with it, and he probably would have been honored to have a movie made about his life, as long as it's somewhat flattering. So before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, go out to clownfishtv.com for more objective pop culture news, and we're going to talk about this again, controversy. I don't think this was a caricature in any way, because he actually does look like Leonard Bernstein. It's uncanny. It really is. So, nothing to sneeze at. Rolling Stone. Leonard Bernstein's children defend Bradley Cooper's prosthetic nose in biopic. The first trailer for Maestro prompted ridicule for the actor, director's makeup, and accusations of anti-Semitic caricature. At least he's not playing a goblin in Harry Potter. Bradley Cooper's Maestro, a biopic about composer Leonard Bernstein and his wife. He co-wrote, directed, and stars in it. Looks to become an award season contender once it premiered at the Venice International Film Festival. But if it's recognized for makeup design, you can expect some controversy. Netflix rolled out the first teaser for the drama on Tuesday, featuring lush shots of Cooper as Bernstein. Some were distracted from the romantic air of the preview, however, by Cooper's large prosthetic nose, unfavorably comparing his look in the film to actual photos of Bernstein when he was younger. Not when Bernstein was older, his nose was bigger. That tends to happen to dudes. Did you ever see old men? They have like really big noses, That happens. That's the thing that happens. Did the prosthetics team even try? Asked one viewer. Others went beyond a critique of the likeness itself, suggesting the nose verged on anti-Semitic caricature. This isn't about making a non-Jewish actor look more like Leonard Bernstein. It's about making a non-Jewish actor look more like a Jewish stereotype, wrote a PhD candidate in the history of Judaism and religious studies in a tweet that went viral. Of course it did. It's delicious when you accuse white actors of wrongdoing. Twitter can't. It's not called Twitter. X can't ignore it. And again, they're picking pictures of him when he was younger. When he was older, his nose, he had a pretty big nose. This comes from a guy. I myself have a big nose. My nose is probably going to be that big when I'm his age. He died, he was 72 years old? Yeah, when I'm 72, I'm going to have a big nose too. I know it. I know I am. I'm looking at my family. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to have a big nose. I'm okay with that. And if someone would do a biopic about me and they had a tiny, petite nose, I'd say you throw some makeup on because you don't look anything like me. You got to have a big nose just like me. I'm just saying. That's not anti-Semitic. That's not anti-Semitic at all. I don't think. That wasn't the intention. Clearly, if he's making a biopic, because of, out of reverence for Leonard Bernstein, I don't think that he's doing this to be anti-Semitic. All right. Netflix UK and Ireland. Discover the towering and fearless love story of Leonard Bernstein. While reactions range from amusement to ridicule to genuine offense, the consensus on social media seemed to converge around 2 points. The nose does not make Cooper look more like Bernstein. And it certainly wasn't necessary for the role. A few critics recalled how Cooper had performed a Broadway production of The Elephant Man, playing the real-life Joseph Merrick, who had severe deformities without the aid of prosthetics. The play specifically does not call for such makeup. I was actually going to bring up The Elephant Man. I didn't know that Bradley Cooper played in The Elephant Man, but like, we've reached a point now where you're not allowed to play anything outside your lane. Like, there's been all kinds of blowback about non-Jewish actors playing Jewish roles. Obviously we had the situation with Michael Jackson, but like, you're not allowed to play anything. And so I'm like, okay, so in the case of The Elephant Man, John Hurt wasn't allowed to play the Elephant Man because he wasn't actually deformed. Is that how that works now? Like, you're not even allowed to play, if you're straight, you're not allowed to play gay characters. If you're gay, you're not allowed. Well, no, it doesn't work. It doesn't work in reverse, right? If you're gay, you're allowed to play straight characters, but it doesn't work the other way around, apparently. And we've had gay actors, come out against that whole thing too. Neil Patrick Harris and Ian McKellen were kind of like, hey, I want to play whatever I want to play, right? Like, it's just pretend. We're playing pretend. Before the backlash could get any more steam, Bernstein's 3 children, Jamie, Alexander, and Nina, came to Cooper's defense in a statement shared on Twitter. Bradley Cooper included the 3 of us along every step of his amazing journey as he made this film about our father, they wrote, wholeheartedly endorsing his passionate creative efforts. It breaks our hearts to see any misrepresentation of misunderstandings of his efforts. It happens to be true that Leonard Bernstein had a nice big nose. He did. He had a big nose, and there's nothing wrong with that. This is coming from a man with a big nose. It is a very distinguished nose. And there's so many things, so many jokes you can make about that. Go watch Roxanne. Steve Martin makes. So is Steve Martin going to get canceled? Is that considered quote unquote Jew face because he had a big nose in Roxanne? I don't think it was. His own kids said, shut up. Leonard Bernstein's kids are telling them to shut up. I mean, that's pretty bad when your kids have to come to the defense of this guy who just wanted to make a movie about their dad, right? I mean, come on. He had a big nose. Siblings further assured the movie-going public they also take no issue with Cooper's appearance in Maestro and noted, we're also certain that our dad would have been fine with it as well. It's so funny how we have so many people speaking on behalf of groups of people or deceased people or whatever. And a lot of times they didn't really know much about the person, or they don't know much about the people. A lot of white college kids getting offended for black folks these days. I'm just saying. I've seen this trend. A lot of straight people getting offended for LGBTQ people, putting words into their mouths. Leonard Bernstein's own kids are saying, our dad, we knew our dad, right? He was our dad. He would have been fine with this, so shut the fuck up. Right? Watch the movie, shut the fuck up. As for strident complaints around this issue, they added, these struck them as disingenuous attempts to bring a successful person down a notch. Welcome to cancel culture. This is actually very awesome that they came out and did this. Of course, this measured response hasn't gotten nearly as much play as the initial outrage. And it's likely that No's discourse will continue to haunt the release and reception of Maestro. Anytime, well, that's the thing too. A lot of times we see things get walked back or we see, elaboration, but you always hear about the initial outrage. I think in this case, anybody has any blowback to this movie based on the prosthetics, just point to this tweet and be like, hey, his own kids said it was okay. His own kids said it was okay. So wait, Nicole Kidman donned a striking fake nose to play Virginia Woolf in The Hours. I forgot all about that. See, everybody will forget about this too. Even so, Cooper would be in good company. She won Best Actress this year. Nothing else, he's given us the first movie meme of the Prestige season. Maybe if people get used to his altered appearance, they'll stop being so sniffy about it. This is coming from Rolling Stone. And again, this is him younger, but you see these pics side by side, and it is uncanny how much he looks like him. It is. So again, it's a non-controversy. And hopefully these detractors kind of shut up. Now, I don't know if the movie's going to be any good. I don't know how exciting the life of Leonard Bernstein actually was, but we'll see. I'm going to wrap this up. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll talk later.